we're back. Councilman.
Mayor, we took a look at the 10th edition of Robert's Rules of Order on the motion that was before the body, which Councilman Martin, the motion you made was to postpone indefinitely. Is that correct?
Yes.
That was. And was that motion seconded, Mayor?
Yes, it was.
It was? Okay. I think the motion is properly before the body. If you take a look at, and Mayor, by the way, I was just conversing with the town clerk and asked the question whether all members of the City Council are given a 10th edition of Robert's Rules, which is the rules that this body operates under pursuant to the ordinances, and neither of us can recollect whether that has ever occurred, so it might be a good idea to maybe order those.
Get every council one?
I wouldn't have enough money in my budget to do that unless the...
We'll do it. All right, we'll talk about it. We'll get it.
I just think it's a good idea, Mayor. I would direct the members, when you do get a copy of this, or you're certainly welcome to come and review it in our office, under subsidiary motions, if a main motion has been brought before the Assembly, a member can propose to dispose of the question without bringing it to a direct vote by moving to postpone indefinitely. The rules for moving to postpone indefinitely are clearly a secondary motion. It is only superior to the motion that's before the body. So the motion that Councilman Brown has put before you is the primary motion. This motion is the only one that can be made. It cannot be, and let me read to you all of the different characteristics of the motion to postpone indefinitely. It takes precedence over nothing except the main question to which it is applied. It can be applied only to the main question and can therefore be made only while the main question is before the body, which I believe is where you are. It is out of order when another motion is on the floor. It must be seconded. It is debatable, and unlike the case of any other subsidiary motion, debate on the motion to postpone indefinitely can go fully into the merits of the main question. It is not amendable. It requires a majority vote, and an affirmative vote on the motion to postpone indefinitely can be reconsidered, and we've discussed that previously.
Thank you. So we have a motion and a second discussion.
Yes, Your Honor. The effect, also reading from the same book that Attorney Kraweicki just was, the effect of postponing a question indefinitely is to suppress it throughout the current session. And I think it's unfortunate that instead of the people that you've elected to voice their opinions and take a stand on important citywide issues, instead of doing that, they're going to hide behind what is technically a proper, but not just, skirt around a debate on an actual motion. They don't want to vote and say that they do or do not support the Board of Ed pursuing this ridiculous legal battle any further. They don't want to take a stand. That is what this motion to table indefinitely, proper but not just, is doing, in effect. I want everybody in this room, and everybody watching at home, and anybody who ever sees this, to know that had the resolution I brought up, of course, gone for a vote, I would have supported it. I support the 53 women whose lives are being toyed with by choosing to continue to pursue a legal matter that has already been settled fairly by the Labor Board. And anybody is free to disagree with me, but to hide behind what is technically a proper process but an unjust process is acting out of cowardice.
Any other discussion?
I also would have supported Councilman Brown's resolution. I'm under no I don't know, false assumptions that the Board of Education would have, taken any direction from this body. I understand people's reluctance to get involved with Board of Ed matters. I think this is an important issue, and it's certainly not an education policy issue as much as it is a fiscal issue. And I think we are elected to take responsibility for fiscal issues. And I know that postponing this makes this completely moot at this body, because the Board of Ed has to act within 30 days of the decision that was rendered. And so we will not even be meeting before they have to consider this, whether they're appealing. So I do consider this, I would agree with Councilman Brown that this is just a cowardly way of getting out of voting on his resolution. I support the cafeteria workers, and I support their right to maintain a middle-class existence, and I think that's what we do. We're the third largest employer in this city, between the city and the Board of Education together. And the health insurance benefits that those employees get make them, are able to maintain a middle-class lifestyle. Without those benefits, they will not be middle class. They will not be middle-class people anymore. And I think that's an important issue, and something we certainly could have been the subject of a resolution before this board. That's it.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Yeah. I'd just like to go on record as saying that if that resolution had come forward, I too would have supported it. I think that whereas there is a separation in a lot of ways, we've also spent many months, at least since I've been elected again to the council, talking about and bemoaning the need to have closer working relationships. $140,000 is 3 or 4 math coaches. It's a lot of resources that could be put back in. And I have concerns that if it was pursued, that we would in fact be going down a road where money is being used for purposes that I think would have been better served in our classrooms. So if it had come forward, I would have voted yes.
Thank you. Any other discussion? I will just say that I issued a statement on this matter months ago. So where I stand is public. It's out there. It's in writing. However, this is a Board of Ed issue. Contrary to some belief, the Mayor's office and City Council have zero to do with Board of Ed contracts. Therefore, I will support Councilman Martin's motion on this to postpone indefinitely, because it's not our say. And I think if it was reversed and we were taking a stance, I think many of us up here would be pretty peeved knowing the Board of Ed was sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. So that's where I'm going to stand. I am going to take a roll call, starting my far right.
Is this on council?
I'm sorry, on the postponed to indefinitely. That's the motion on the table.
No.
Yes.
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 No.
No.
Chair votes yes, the motion passes. No, that was unfinished business?
Yes.
Okay. Did I start with you, or did I know, Councilman?
Started with...
Okay, thank you. Any other unfinished business?